evening. Dean Levy, Dr. Raybeck, faculty, graduates, family, and friends, I want to welcome you tonight for this celebration of success. Tonight we are here to celebrate all of our graduation. The successful completion of nursing school. It was a tough, winding road, full of twists and turns. And I remember sitting with some of you on the first day of the program. We looked around, we were all nervous, but yet we were full of hope. We met the instructors and learned about the challenges that were ahead of us for the first semester. Yet I don't think that the faculty at that time realized the challenges that were facing them with this group of nursing students. We were always on top of our game. We jumped into nursing school with both feet and never looked back. We answered questions and questions about procedures and medications. We wanted to know why or how this was done. We needed to know the rationale behind everything. We packed the skills labs and flocked to Joni Wig for guidance. When it came time for exams, we were like a pack of hyenas. We challenged questions that we had gotten wrong. We would reference exact pages and tables in our textbooks. We had everything to back up those challenges. Those nursing books became our Bible, and we were quick to quote from them if it meant we were getting an exam point back. As we transitioned into future semesters, that drive and determination didn't change. We were just as vicious when it came to challenging exam questions, but now the instructors had been warned about our group of nurses from previous instructors. Exams became more challenging, and the questions were no longer A plus B will give you C. They were, now you have C. Well, what do you do with that in Utopia Hospital? For those of you here tonight that don't exactly know what Utopia Hospital is, let me give you an explanation, as given to us by Christy Craning, our Nursing 106 instructor. Utopia Hospital is the ideal hospital. Here, you're always fully staffed on your floor. You have every supply known to man at your disposal. All medications are delivered from the hospital pharmacy in a timely manner. All charting at change of shift is accurate and most up to date. Doctors are always helpful, always patient, and always kind to their nurses. As you know, nurses at that point will have endless amounts of time for therapeutic communication with their patient. I think if this place really exists, we'd all like to send a resume. So now, we're learning how the ideal nurse would handle the situation and how he or she would function within their scope of practice at Utopia Hospital. And I cannot tell you how many times I cursed under my breath about Utopia Hospital and that ideal nurse when I got something wrong in an exam. As we transitioned into third semester, our drive and determination never waned. We continued to function as an RN would function in clinical experiences. We continued to push and challenge our instructors in all of our classes. But now we faced a new challenge. Our simulation lab had been moved from our downtown home location to our Mequon campus, and the lab was now lovingly called St. Mequon's. At St. Mequon's, we practiced on a fully functioning mannequin while our clinical instructor and classmates observed. I soon came to realize that I never wanted to be a nurse at St. Mequon's. The simulation scenarios were fast-paced, and the mannequin was a very naughty patient. We would find cigarettes at the bedside, fast food and medications were left on the table. He would be sitting on the bedpan for countless hours. He was often non-compliant and never wanted to cough and deep breathe, or do the incentive spirometer, which we so lovingly suggested. Our goal in simulation was to learn at least one thing, which we all did. In addition, I learned that if I was ever a patient, I wanted to go to Utopia Hospital, not St. Mequon's. We are now in fourth semester, senior level nursing students. We were the bigwigs on campus in the School of Nursing. Our standards we had set for ourselves continue. We learned all the skills, mastered therapeutic communication, and gained confidence in our abilities, and began to function more independently on the clinical floor. The light at the end of the tunnel was close, and we were almost there. Outside of school, we carried ourselves with the same nursing mindset. We answered all of our family's questions about every ache and pain when they called us. My own mother actually asked me to check the dog's lungs with my stethoscope. to see why he was wheezing. Needless to say, the dog would never take a deep breath on command. And I continued to remind my mother that I was going to be a nurse, not a veterinarian. But through all that craziness, we continued to learn and grow. One of our graduates here tonight had to take what she had learned and put it into action recently out in the real world. Brittany Smith was driving home from MATC just as she had done every other day. She was unaware that a few miles ahead, 3 children had been involved in a terrible accident involving a city bus as they were crossing the street. Coming upon the scene, Brittany got out of her car. She assessed the situation and did all she could until the paramedics arrived. Her strength and willingness to help the victims is a great example of the compassionate nurse she will be. She is being honored by the city of Milwaukee and the mayor in the coming months. Brittany is definitely a credit to her family, to MATC, and the field of nursing. She is a shining example of Good Samaritan. Brittany, I applaud you for all you do. Brittany, I applaud you for all you did that day. Your actions show us all here tonight the quality graduate nurses MATC is producing. In closing, I want to thank all of our family and friends for putting up with us and supporting us these last 4 semesters. We know it wasn't easy. On a personal note, I want to thank Samantha Niemi, Ashley Schuler, and Marilyn Garcia for being my study partners. We pushed each other along and made sure all of us were successful. I want to thank Counselor Tom Zach for being my partner in crime these last 2 semesters. We laughed a lot, but we're always there for each other and worked through questions, whether the questions were about medication, lab values, or what we were just going to have for lunch. I know I could always depend on you. To Kim Hine, my clinical and preceptor, thank you for being the mother duck who helped 8 ducklings dressed in very fashionable MATC nursing uniforms become the independent graduate nurses we had hoped to become. Finally, I want to leave you all with words of wisdom given to us in Nursing 109 by a very wise Denise Owens. Do your job to the best of your abilities. Ask questions, look things up, always work within your scope of practice, but most importantly, don't kill your patient. Congratulations, class of 2010.